The short answer is because that's what I did for a living for many years. My first encounter with surveillance was in the military, where I was trained by special forces in covert operations. When I left the military and began work in a commercial surveillance company, I found most of the skills that I'd learned adapted themselves very well to this new type of work. And for a while at least, I found the work reasonably interesting. Initially, I worked as a covert surveillance operative, and then as a team leader, and later on as a specialist trainer, teaching advanced covert surveillance techniques, coaching and mentoring surveillance operatives after they'd undertaken their basic surveillance training, really. My job was to whip them into shape and get them ready for live deployments. But along with many of my colleagues, I became increasingly uncomfortable by the persistent pressure in the industry to get evidence at any cost. It became quite oppressive. I can recall one particular job that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I was team leader on this particular day when myself and a really good colleague were tasked to gain footage of a lady who, through no fault of her own, had lost her son in an horrific traffic accident. On top of this psychological and emotional trauma she'd suffered, she also suffered physical injuries herself. Now, here was a woman who was obviously suffering, and all the insurance company was interested in was reducing her compensation. Just because, well, just to make more profit, really, I suppose. I couldn't do it. My conscience just wouldn't let me do it. This and other cases totally convinced me that these compensation claimants needed help. They needed protection from this one-sided, totally unfair fight they didn't even know they were in. It was like a light going on. I suddenly became aware of the absurd imbalance where highly trained surveillance operatives equipped with specially adapted vehicles and high-tech covert equipment and cameras using special forces style techniques were systematically deployed against unsuspecting ordinary folk, just trying to recover after an accident and get compensated for their misfortunes. That's why I do what I do, and that's why Active House was formed. And everyone who works for us shares that same passion and that same philosophy. We make it as easy as we can for you to protect yourself. In fact, that's all we do, and we're very good at it. Well, that's the answer to the question. Thanks for listening, and take care.